On today's episode of the Command Center podcast, we make a case for Sonny Styles.
Stop the nonsense.
Stop the nonsense. That's exactly right. We review Detroit. Man, our guy AK was slinging that pigskin all over the field. Then we talk about the joint practice, what we need to see, what we want to see from that practice. It all starts right now. Welcome to the Command Center podcast. I'm Logan Paulson here with Fred Smoot and Santana Moss. And as always, we're in the Big Bear AI Command Center studio training camp tent. And boys, we just had a preseason game.
Yeah, we did, but y'all also didn't tell me y'all was coming full company man today. Yeah. Well, I'm the only one not in company attire.
I read the text that Maddie sent, and he said we're going to be in the tent, which is this.
Yeah.
And I know that I will sweat if I wear slacks. So
I didn't read the text, and I wore pants.
Questions.
And no company man stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know, you the one that always show up a little with odd times. Yeah. So I thought maybe you just got up and threw on something that you saw.
No, I just didn't read. I just didn't read the text, man. Okay. Didn't get the memo.
Yeah, it's okay though. And you're paying the consequences for that.
I am. I'm starting to melt.
It's kind of a nice day today. Not super hot, but obviously, Fred, it's warm for you because you got jeans on. So
it's okay. They say when it's hot, you need to cover up.
Hot, you need to cover up. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Middle East, when it's hot in the desert, they cover up.
You cover up to protect yourself from the sun.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I do when I coach. Long sleeves, put the hat on.
Yeah.
Put sweatpants on. So people are like, oh, you're trying to lose weight, but I'm just trying to keep the sun off.
I understand, man.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this preseason 2 game, and let's start with Sonny Styles. And so one of the things that I really just have a hard time with, really just, what is that, get your gourd? Whatever that saying is, is that like I get these things on Instagram, Twitter that's
alerts.
that basically is like, oh, Sonny Styles is a bust, he's terrible, blah, 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 blah. And I come to find out through producer Jason, that's all driven by one account.
Yes.
And we're not going to name the account here.
We're just going to call him Negative Nate.
Right. Negative Nate, right? Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And it just bothers me because it's factually inaccurate.
Yes.
And it's intentionally misleading.
Yeah. But that's the generation we live in right now.
It is true.
Can you trust the information that you're being given?
Yeah.
Like so many times between IG and X, formerly known as Twitter, like did you get these messages that I have to second check?
Yeah.
Like most of the time I had to second check, like, oh man, I don't know, this don't sound right. But for somebody to take their own time of misery to hate on this guy who's 0 games old in the NFL.
Yeah.
And call him a bust, but then turn around and say Justin Fields should be a starter. That tells me one thing, my friend. You are what we call a couch coach. You ain't never played football. You ain't never played sports, but you done watched enough on Saturday and Sunday that you think you know what an athlete is. You ain't got a chance, my friend.
Yeah, I want to know what Sonny Styles did to somebody that he really loved or something. I mean, it seemed like one of those things.
Personal.
You know when someone is just reaching, you know what I mean? And maybe it's because, okay, this is a big name. This is a guy that I've laid eyes on from however long he's been watching him. And I feel like if I could put out enough negative stuff about him, maybe I'll get attention. I'll go viral. So that's another thing about these accounts, man. People are trying to go viral by saying anything. They don't even care if it's right. They just put out stuff, and hey, if they get a lot of likes, they get a lot of attention from it. Guess what? They done made some money. So,
but they gotta
make them no money.
That gotta be like frustrating for a person though. I'm sure these kids, when you at the age they are, they ain't paying attention to what all. They don't listen to sports talk.
Yeah.
They don't. They usually.
I hope not.
Yeah, they're not usually into minutia. But it gotta be like frustrating for somebody just to do that, and you like, man, I don't even know you.
Yeah. I think the thing that I find frustrating is it's dishonest. So like what I mean by that is like people are like, well, Logan, like I've seen the cut up, it doesn't look good. You know what? When you look at a linebacker, take any linebacker in the league. Who do you want? Fred Warner? Want to talk about him?
Yeah.
So when you highlight that player, there are 70 plays on defense, 65 plays on defense.
I can pull 10 that he ain't do what he's supposed to do.
Well, and it's not even doing what he's supposed to do. Most of the time, outside of the 8 to 10 tackles that he has in a game, he's just standing there. He's dropping in zone coverage. He's fitting a gap. He's not making every single tackle. And I think there's this perception of people, specifically with defensive guys, that if you're not making every tackle, you're bad at football. So when I go back and watch the All-22, I see an improvement from week 1 to week 2. And if I'm Coach Quinn, I'm like, Sonny, we wanted you to be a little more physical. You were more physical. The first play of the game, they're running a little outside zone to his side. He absolutely chins the guard in the face, right? He's been great in coverage all the time. And so when you get that little, that tunnel vision on the player, you don't see the route concept. You don't see what he's relating to. You don't see what he's looking at. And you're like, oh, he's just standing there. That's not, when you watch the All-22, that's not what comes across, which I think is annoying.
And one of the things that's so odd about it is because if you want to really be technical about it, go look at your favorite wide receiver.
It's the same thing.
Go look at the one that put up the 18 catches for 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns, and watch the plays where he wasn't getting the ball thrown. And tell me, what is he a bust?
Is he good?
Is he good? Because I've seen a lot of them. So I've had this problem when I see someone nitpicking at something that's just not even a thing. Like, bro, it's a football game. You mean to tell me he has to be on every play? He has to be doing something that you like.
If you go in the top 10, that's what they expect.
That's the obvious, answer when it comes to a person who that don't know football.
No, they just reaching.
Or don't know the game enough to know, like, bro, he's doing his assignment. He's following out his keys. Whatever is meant for him to do to make everybody else better, he's carrying on his job. And so when you see him dropping back into that lane underneath those, and going wide, going up under that curl lane, like, he's doing his job to make sure the play doesn't get worse than what it is, or make sure they don't move the chains. Especially on his side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? So
here go the crazy part about it. You want to call Sonny Styles a bust, but Carnell Tate then played in 2 games and got 0 catches. Like, you ready to call him a bust?
And it's even that's even unfair.
I'm not ready to call him a bust.
Because what's his utilization? And that's the other thing I wanted to bring up too. There's 2 things I want to bring up. One, and maybe most importantly, is we've been out to practice. The defense in practice does not look like the defense that they're playing.
He don't understand that. That the coaches are not setting you up to succeed in the preseason. They just putting you out there and watching you run. That's it. We're not game planning anything. Why is he not blitzing? Because we ain't blitzing. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I think that's the other thing too. Is this is the same plays, defensive structures that I saw when I came to rookie minicamp. It's literally like the first, you open the playbook,
it's
on
vanilla.
On the first page you got cover 4, cover 6, and an odd front. That's it. And then when we get to nickel, we're going to be an even. And that's what they're doing. And so what do they want to see? They want to see a guy run, hit, hold their gap, do those different things. And it's not so there was a day in practice, I want to say it was last week on a Thursday. Or no, it was 2 weeks ago when they were still in pads. And they had a blitz period, and Durante Jones, one with the pen, got Sonny Styles on a back 3 consecutive plays. And he would have, I'm not kidding, had 3 consecutive sacks. And so obviously if you get that type of look and that type of production, are we saying, no one's saying anything about that. So the scheme becomes a relevant factor here too. And then, so real quick before we move on, I can hear people already talking about, oh, well, do you see him on that zone read? Do you see what he did on the zone read?
Oh my God.
I did see the zone read. He was fitting the right gap. Joshua Joseph should have the quarterback. The back should be cutting back to Sonny Styles, who's in the right spot. Now I would say maybe you could use his hands better. I get that, but in terms of where he fits in the defense, he's in the right spot.
No, we know this because we have trained eyes. We're talking to people that has untrained eyes. They a highlight factor. if it's not a highlight, they cannot understand, okay, I made the play without making the play. What you mean? I did my job, which allowed him to go make the play. They don't understand that.
On the first play of the game when he chinned the guard, Leo makes the tackle. But Leo doesn't get to make the tackle
unless he does that.
Unless he does that, right? The other thing I want to bring up, you brought this up, Tana, there's a play, it's a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, he's dropping under some type of crosser, gets great depth. The quarterback is checking the ball down to the back, and he is, you talk about the Impala, he is running like a deer to this back. And if that back dropped the football, but if the back doesn't drop the football,
mush.
It's a murder. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna see a dead body on the field.
Chalk line, land, and dust.
And so what I'm saying is all of a sudden you can say, oh wow, Sonny Styles made a play. It's just the perception of that position is so hard. And I think he's a caught ball away from us going oh my God, did you see that? Oh my, and that's just the nature of the spot. And so when people put that out there, I'm always like, Don't do that.
And then it's preseason too. At the end of the day, man, all this stuff is vanilla.
Doesn't matter.
These guys are flying around. These guys are just trying to, do what they got to do to get themselves, acclimated to what this new league is for them. And Sonny is far from the guy he's going to be come week one.
So that's why I say it's shame on this man. Yeah. Shame on that man building himself up off of this young man.
So when Jason put this on the rundown, I was like, we probably shouldn't talk about it, because the other people that he talks about in a negative way as busts are Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Cooper DeJean, and Paris Johnson. And when you look at those draft classes, they're probably some of the more effective players.
Thank you.
From that group. And so you're intentionally instigating and inflaming fan bases.
Yes.
With kind of nothing.
Yeah. And that's his weapon.
Yeah.
That's his weapon of choice. So I feel like right now what we're doing, we're buying into it.
Yeah.
Because we're lashing back out at this style.
I want to say we done made him bigger than what he's supposed to be.
But we ain't say his name, so we ain't blew him up.
Tomfoolery, that's his name.
Because he don't know nothing.
Full of crap, man.
So we're preseason preview, all this kind of stuff. We're gonna talk about the defense off in a second, but I think Sonny Styles is playing fine.
Yes, I do too.
There's not been a lot of splash plays. There are some things he can technically improve on, no doubt. I'm not saying he's the second coming of London Fletcher or Ray Lewis just yet. He's got a lot of work to do. But I was talking to John Keim, who's covered this team. He covered covered me, and what he said is it reminds me a little bit of Sean Taylor.
Yes,
because it took Sean a couple, and I didn't know this.
Sean did not start the first month of the year.
Yeah.
He did not start. No, it was Ryan. We had other guys. Andre Lott. We had other guys start because Greg was like, he ain't quite there yet. He running himself out of play.
Yeah.
But then it clicked.
Yeah.
And once it clicked, and don't forget this, Sean first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
He had 2 picks and a touchdown.
There's one way of doing it, right?
Yeah. So it's just different, but he's right. It's very much of Sean Taylor.
And so I think about, for example, last year with Connerly, there was no Instagram video or Twitter video, online video of every single one of his plays, but he had a tough couple of first games.
Yeah.
And then he figured it out.
Yes.
And I like that you said that, the way you worded that, it just clicks.
Yeah.
It clicked for me in year 2. I remember, it's starting to slow down. I don't know when it clicked for you guys, but it's part of the process that I think it's important to acknowledge.
Yeah, it clicked for me the day I was born.
The day he was born. Can you believe that, Tana? If only we'd be so lucky.
After the doctor slapped him, he was up. I'm here.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
My cleats.
So that's our quick recap of the Sonny Styles thing. Again, I don't like talking about it, but I think enough people have messaged me about it, Jason, messaged you, messaged Tana, that we got to discuss it.
We had to bring it up and clear it up.
So now let's take our first break. We got the GOAT crowning, and then we're going to talk about the defense, and we got our reads. But first, let's see who the GOAT is. I think I know who it is this week.
Bah.
No, don't put your hand out.
It's over? Oh, okay.
I knew it. When he came out with that voice, I knew it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even close.
Listen, I had already butchered my read, so I already knew I had let a lot of people down.
I miss you, man. I miss you.
That hasn't been gone that long, has it, Tana?
Man.
I'm ready today, though.
Ready for what? Ready to read?
Ready to read.
What's your read, by the way?
Checkpoints.
What is it? What's his thing, Tana? He always is flawless execution.
Flawless execution.
That's the one.
You got it again? Who started off? You?
I got it. AAA. Hail Nation, take your fandom up a notch. Check out the AAA Commanders MVP membership today. You'll get all the reliable AAA benefits like 24/7 roadside assistance, plus exciting Hail Nation extras like opportunities to win game tickets. Attend exclusive events and get 15% off the online pro shop. Already a AAA member? No problem. You can upgrade for free. Head to AAA.com/commanders to upgrade or join today and become a AAA Commanders MVP. Let's go, AAA.
That's what I'm talking about. I like it.
Yeah, you feel good about it, huh?
I do like it because you finally showed some emotion. You emoted.
Some juice.
Yeah, you emoted,
as they say.
Yeah, you had the juice. All right, Commander fans, here's your game plan for fall. Take the country roads to West Virginia, where scenic drives, mountain towns, and hills glowing with brilliant fall color are all just a short drive away. It's the perfect excuse to get out of town, slow things down, and make a few unforgettable memories. Plan your escape at wvtourism.com. West Virginia.
Let's go.
No, he had the smirk on his face the whole time.
Because that's his read. That's his read, man. You can't mess with that read.
Hey, this dude right here, man.
You feeling a little nervous?
We got to take the West Virginia read from him.
I picked it. I didn't try.
Yeah.
It was in the hat.
We picked the reads, man. What are you talking
Came
about?
to me, man.
So you feeling nervous? A little bit, probably
No,
not.
I'm not, man. But every time he get to West Virginia, Reed, he end up winning. It's a correlation, right? That's all I'm saying. Why he ain't checkpointing?
Hey, what'd you have last week? He had something last week that was tough.
I had some tough stuff, man. I ain't had West Virginia last week.
Man, listen, this tomfoolery. I know.
You think it's biased?
I don't know it's biased.
All right, let's talk about the defense real quick, okay? So one of the things that Jason pointed out, and he does a great job producing the show, is that they've had multiple turnovers in both games.
Yeah.
And I think there's something there. There's some signal there. Now, preseason, we all know, is not the end-all, be-all.
No, it's not.
But I do think that there's something, and what the thing is, I think the rush is better. I think the personnel is better. I think the depth is better.
And I think the DNA of the defense is different.
Yeah.
The ball is really life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They teach and they preach that, and you can tell by how all of them are attacking the ball.
Yeah.
Not some of them. It's a mentality switch.
Yeah.
Like the one thing about certain what I call mad scientists, defensive coordinators, they know how to change your mentality before they change you on the field. And I think mentally, Coach Durante Jones has changed the way that they think about that ball.
I think also too, man. When, it stands out to me. It's guys out there playing for the job.
Yeah.
Guys out there like, look, man. These preseason games aren't really preseason right now for me. This is for me to go out here and make this team. So when you look at the guys who are making the plays on the ball, when you look at the guys, I mean, it's all of them too. It's not just some of them, but some of the guys who coming up with these, man. You look at the depth chart and you say, wow, he just made a case for why he should be here. You know what I mean? And that's what stands out to me. But I think as a whole, it's I'm trying to find the perfect word for. It's great to see it now because it means it's brewing.
Yeah.
It means who we going to be, our identity, what we trying to become come regular season. Right now in the preseason, you have to set the tone and say this is what we're trying to do. So when we cut on film going into week 1, when coach started to show that highlight, I'm not sure how Durante Jones going to do it, but most coaches get a highlight reel of all the great plays that was made in the preseason and say, now who's going to be who want to be on here next?
Yeah.
That's setting the tone. Like all these guys that went out there and say, "Hey, I'm on this reel. So this is where this is how we supposed to be playing come week 1."
It says buy-in to me. It says that the entire defense has bought into Durante Jones. Like when talking to Jeremy Reeves, all I hear is, man, this is exciting for us to play the defense because we are the attackers now. We're not getting attacked.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. When you are the aggressor, you usually get turnovers. That's just the way it is. Because how do quarterbacks make turnovers? When they're uncomfortable, when somebody's in their face, under duress.
Yeah.
But a quarterback just staring at you does not make mistakes.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing right now. We're forcing them to think quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes back to something that someone mentioned to me in the offseason. Like Durante Jones took a clip and he kind of said, like, this is what the quarterback has to do before the snap starts. We got to say the play. We got to kind of have our reminders. We got to see the front. We got to see the second level.
Got to make checks.
See the secondary. We got to make, kind of have our pre-snap, post-snap reads, all that kind of stuff. And with the pressure, you just accelerate that process.
Yeah.
It's something that's very complicated and nuanced, and all of a sudden you force them into overdrive. And the cool thing for me is they've done it with kind of basic stuff. Right?
Yeah.
You get Jean-Baptiste with some pressures. You get Joshua Joseph with some pressures.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even TJ, the International Pathway Program.
Yeah.
Man,
Do it. Say it.
I know how to say it.
Do it.
Maninyanga. That's close, right?
That's close.
Yeah.
That's close.
It's something like that. I think I'm butchering it a little bit, but he had a pressure in the game, right? Kane Medrano has a pressure, right? Like all of a sudden these guys are winning their individual matchups, and I think that's a testament not only to, like Tana's saying, the Durante Jones, like, hey, we're going to reward people for good effort and kind of buying in, but it's also to me an Adam Peters thing. Like think about it, that's the second group of rushers.
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen Owe. We haven't seen Kaysen out there. We haven't seen Frankie Louvu blitzing downhill.
Yeah.
Like talk about in practice, like a guy that's been incredibly disruptive.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden you bring those pieces, and that pressure component we're talking about, I think has real signal.
Yeah.
Because now you get guys playing with vision to the quarterback, like you've talked about a ton, coming from that old defense you were in. And so I think there's a lot of elements here that make me think this is transferable.
No, I know it is. Because it's one of these things where habits are who you are.
Yeah.
We got a habit of turning the ball over. That's who we are.
Yeah.
We go turn the ball over. All 22, 26 players, ready to raise their hand, it's my turn to get the rock back. And that's why I can't wait to see Sarah still behind Oweh and Chase getting it done. Because if we think the rush been good so far, we ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
And especially couple that with like what Durante Jones has done with the pen so far in training camp in terms of manipulating protections. Like it just feels like, again, like some of this stuff is going to carry over really well to the season. The one guy I wanted to ask you about too is Quan.
Yeah.
He's been around the football a ton. Again, I think a lot of fans had big expectations for him last year. Not so much. I have big expectations for him this year.
Yeah, most definitely I do.
What about his game do you think allows him to get his hands on the football the way he has the last
First of
couple
all,
weeks?
we can say this. He's a hybrid corner / safety.
Yeah.
So with great ball skills and great hands. And the one thing he's raised his hand up and said, Coach, I ain't going home. He looks to me playing a man fighting for his job. And I love that because he's playing with urgency. He understands, like, don't think him making these plays. And I always felt like he the perfect big nickel. Like if you need a big nickel, he's the perfect big nickel. So he gives us a chance to talk over that John Deere.
No, I was going to say the same thing. I said it almost looked like he's playing in the position that he played in when he came out of college. You know what I mean? You remember he played that big nickel a lot then, and he was a guy that was down in there, dilly-dallying around with some of those wideouts and those tight ends. So when you see him now, the first pick he was out deep. You know what I mean? That pick a week ago, he was in the mix of everything. He's sitting in there and just he's a man that, like you just said, hey, when the pressure's on, what we bringing? The heat, right? And that's what you see. You see this guy flying around, and like you scratch your head at times watching these games because I'm like, well, this guy started for us last year. And they out there playing how many plays? You know what I mean? So, like I said, that just tells you it's on. Like it's a job that needs to be had, and I'm standing up and letting it be known that I'm making the case for it.
And I think with Jeremy Reeves being the starter now, I think that really woke Quan up.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Jeremy that I think people are sleeping on is like listening to him at practice. Listening to him in his limited opportunities in the preseason, so our only 2 snaps on the defense. Like he's an excellent communicator. And like you've talked about this, Fred, and I've become more aware of it the more you've talked about it. Is seeing him kind of be the general for the back half
traffic
of the defense.
Control.
Like he had a great communication on the sack where Amik gets the sack. Like he's communicating and kind of saying, "Oh yeah, you got this. You know what I mean?" Like, and that having
so you were able to hear that.
Well, you can see it on the sideline if you know what you're looking at, right? And then in the interview, he's like, that's something I really pride myself on that we did on the sideline with him too. So he kind of reinforces that. But it's impressive, man. And so I think getting that experience there allows Quan to be in a more flexible position. And the other thing about Quan is his range is just incredible. Like he is a good athlete, can cover a lot of distance. And the one guy I forgot to mention, because he is the guy that creates the pressure on the interception against Detroit, is Charles Omenihu. I kind of been the unheralded guy in this land of all these signings. Like it's just there's a lot more talent, a lot more depth.
Just dudes.
And I think, it reminds me of the old Miami teams, like where you got all these first-round players on it. And they go out there.
But then you say, we got Ed Reed, but we do got Sean Taylor waiting in the back.
But like the depth is something that, again, like allows you to win these one-on-ones. And that's what football's all about, I think. So is there anybody else that's kind of stuck out to you on the defense maybe? Like, obviously there's that first, second group where we know those guys are going to the team.
I got to say Joseph.
I would say Joseph, man.
He's got the juice,
flashes, man. Every time. And he scored a touchdown, too, on that fumble. He flashed every time, man.
No, I got to say this. I was right on Joshua. You was right on Scribbling for the. You was right on Scribbling for the 49ers.
Let me just say for the record.
Oh, here we go.
For the record, ladies and gentlemen, I remember I went through every single edge rusher because I knew they needed one. And I said, this is the guy who will be available day 2 or 3 because of the length, because of the get-off, that is the Dan Quinn type of edge rusher. And I remember telling you that. I mean, I have other people that I told, so I have receipts on it. Probably told Jason about it. And he's here. So I feel like I did a really good job identifying a type of player that they want, and you keep trying to take credit for it.
Maybe one day you'll win the draft award. Maybe. Since you calling stuff out like that. But everybody knows who's the maestro of the draft. That'll be me. Sorry.
Well, I'm glad y'all was right.
Well, the other one is John Baptiste.
Yeah.
He's played better too, man.
Yeah.
And so my guy is a guy maybe down the roster a little bit, but I think with John Newton's injury, has a real shot, is Ricky Barber.
Yes. Every time he's in, he flashes.
Come on. 5'5"?
5'0".
5'0".
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so 5'5" is the veteran. What's his name? I'll look it up.
5'5" flash too every week.
Yeah.
So
They've done a great job.
It's been 2 weeks. He been getting back there.
Yep. Anyway, so defense obviously I think is doing some good stuff. I think there's some frustration from the fans, I think, but I keep coming back to this thing where it's like, dude, it's not even a percentage.
Give him a break, man.
Of what they're doing, right? And
They can't. They got this preseason what I call anxiety, where they so happy that football is back that they want us to be maxing out at 100 from the first game.
Yeah.
That ain't what we do. We get better as the year go on.
Yeah.
Well, and Jason does a great job with this, but versus the Dolphins in the first half, 226 yards versus the Lions in the first half, 169, excuse me. So obviously getting better, shoring up some of that run defense because the Lions came out and tried to run the ball.
No, they did.
And I thought they were pretty physical. A little bit more physical this week than they were last week.
I hope the NFL take a note from the Commanders and the Lions. I loved, and I'm sure Coach Quinn and Coach Campbell talked before the game, I loved the way they had these quarterbacks going in and out the game, taking turns, putting them in different situations, not just saying you're going to play the first quarter and you're going to play the second quarter. No, you need a 2-minute, you need a 4-minute. I love that.
So I'm glad you brought that up, Fred, because we're going to take a break, then we're going to talk about the offense real quick. So we got our pay some bills, and then we'll talk about the offense.
Isn't it strange? People want to save money, but are so willing to toss their hard-earned coin into a 3-foot pool of disappointment. You don't need to throw your money away. Fred might be near now. Be careful. All you need is your phone. Go to Geico. Get a quote, and you can save $900 with your phone. That's right, with your phone. It feels good to save your coin. It feels good to Geico.
I mean, I don't know what to say. Fred, there's a lot of pressure on you. A lot of it.
Pressure bust pipes.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, so I'm really glad you brought up the quarterback thing. Let's talk about that real quick. I think, obviously, Jaden Daniels gets 3 reps.
Yep.
Callie McManus looks like
Joe Montana.
Looks like a dude. And,
Dylan.
we're not going to talk too much about Sam Hartman, but, I thought looked okay
Sam looked
for what he
good.
does.
Sam had a pretty good preseason. I give him that.
He's
Hats
on
off to
time.
him.
He's on time. The ball's going where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
I said this to someone the other day, and I think this encapsulates the difference between the two. When AK is on the field, doesn't the field just feel huge? The defense has to defend so much more grass.
Well, his arm
Yeah.
is an AK-47. You can tell the zip. His ball and Sam ball looks different.
Yeah.
I played against both Hasselbeck brothers. Sam has this Hasselbeck. He's the third Hasselbeck brother. Sam Hasselbeck.
He's just more handsome than those guys.
You're right. And got more hair. The touch that he throws with, timing and touch. AKA throws with strength, timing, touch. And can we
He's also a little bit of a gamer too.
No, I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have this I've been here for 10 years feel?
Bro, he maneuvering in that pocket like this is elementary to me.
You know what's funny is when you watch him in practice, Tana, it's like
swagless.
It's like that was a weird throw. That was a bad pick, or that was into tight coverage. And then all of a sudden on game day, it's like let me put on my Tom Brady cape real quick.
I would never miss a throw. He just out there whipping it, man.
No.
And so people are like, do you think he should be the third quarterback? I've heard that's been a question that's come to me a bunch. I'll say this too.
Yeah.
Yes, he's looked really good, but also, and Tana knows this, man coverage for a quarterback is easy. Because you say, who's going to win? Oh, Jaden Bradley? You're going to win. Antonio Williams, you're going to win. Let me just throw this thing to you.
Let me give you a chance.
Now, he's doing a good job with his eyes. He's not locking in on people, but those throwing windows are a little bit easier to manipulate, I find, for young quarterbacks at this level. And so that's going to speak to what he does really well. Big arm, vertical passing attack, and he answered it. He did the test, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's just some important context there to keep in mind.
All right, game was not perfect by far, but I got to give a kid his props. He had 1 or 2 hospital balls he kind of set people up on, AK.
Okay.
But the touch and the gamesmanship. The gamesmanship to me is left me flabbergasted because I'm like, at what point you got to look like a rookie? At one point, you got to show me that I am a rookie, but it don't, like you say, he a gamer.
Yeah.
Nah, it looks good, man, and it's crazy because you brought it up, and I was going to say the same thing. I was like, well, you know what? It don't seem like he had to really think hard at some of those throws because of the coverage, but that's one part of the game at being a quarterback. The next part is giving me a ball that I can catch.
Yeah.
And that's what stands out to me. Every time he's throwing that ball, willing and dealing. I mean, even the one that he threw to A-Dub across the middle.
Yeah.
A-Dub had to go up and show that he had hands a little bit, but that's what you want from a quarterback as a receiver.
Yeah.
Just put it in my area, put it in my vicinity where I can make a play on it at, and the rest is history. So he's checked all the boxes for me when it comes to just what I want to see from a guy behind the guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like that's what I want to see from a guy who I feel like has potential to be that guy one day if we called upon.
The big question is, just say you had to trust him or Sam in the game, a real game.
Yeah.
Which one would you trust?
I don't know. I think I need more data
You
points.
need more data.
Yeah, you need more
Because
data.
I do think, like, one of the things I wanted to bring up is, like, there was a lot of penalties in this game. You know, 11 penalties, 84 yards. A lot of them were when AK was in.
Yeah.
You can tell the cadence is a little bit slower.
Yeah.
Like, guys are jumping off sides.
The timing
He's
is
late in the shot clock, getting stuff off, right? And so some of that kind of management stuff, I think, again, he'll get better at it. They always get better at it. But I think Sam, when he's out there, it operates a little bit more smoothly. And I think
Sam been here a while.
yeah,
too,
and I think that's exactly right, Tana. He's, as you know, Tana, like the longer you're playing, the more those little things become easier to deal with.
I can only imagine what AK going through, just being young, and he's trying to be perfect in everything. You know, quarterbacks almost have to be perfect for things to go right. And we're sitting up here praising him about his arm and all the good throws and having going for 11 for 14. But it's something that he's probably hasn't been perfect with, is just coming out of
the cadence, out
of the huddle and having things in line. Like my main thing as a receiver was always alignment and assignment first.
Yeah.
No my alignment, no my assignment. Because the other stuff come natural.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Second nature.
So for him, throwing the ball is natural. Him willing and dealing, moving in the pocket, that's natural. He got that down. He can do that with his eyes closed. Now it's time to dive in and say, okay, what do I need to work on this third preseason game or this week of practice that's going to tighten up things that hasn't been so tight, right? Since the past two preseason games.
Yeah, and the other play that he made that I think people sleep on is they brought a zero pressure, the Detroit Lions, which is crazy work in the preseason game, and he stood in there and delivered a nice strike to him.
No, he ate it.
Yeah, and there's something courageous there, I think.
I know, most definitely. Anytime a quarterback understands I'm finna take a big hit, but I still need to deliver this ball, that tell me, because it's a lot of cowards in the pocket.
Yeah.
I done seen a lot of cowards in the pocket, and usually they don't know how to make play because if you stay in there just that long, it let him uncover, make a play. And that's what he's seeing right now. If I could just stay in here just one more tenth of a second, hang in there, that tell he got courage.
Yeah.
So we talked about, obviously, AK, talked about Sam. The other guy we should talk about is Jaden Daniels. Only 3 plays.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any thoughts on those 3 plays?
Well, I know this. On the play that he was sacked, that play action, if John Bates can hold that block,
we're good.
that's a 60-yard pass to Treylon Burks. He's wide open. So for all the people out there like, them first 3 plays, first of all, we don't care about the first 3 plays.
Yeah.
Second of all, it shows you that practice is needed because John Bates haven't been practicing.
Yeah.
And this is a new playbook for him, regardless of how you want to take it or not. So that's why I'm so happy we got the joint practices with the Ravens, so they can get all the first team reps and they can really get some work done. And that's a great team to measure up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You know what? The first thing I said, and this is gonna be odd coming from me, I was like, yes. We needed that. He needed that. Put that on film.
Back up.
Put that on film. Because one of the things people fail to realize when you're coming from an injury-plagued season, you just trying to make it through the next game. And you trying to make it through every play. So for him, when we first came out and we was in shotgun with him, I said, boy, this coach here is so smart.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna put him on the center. He ain't finna show him nothing. He finna show him the same old thing we've been doing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Kind of like with the defense, right?
Yeah. And I'm sitting there smiling because I'm like, oh, this looked like, something that we did last year. So, I mean, it just looked the same. And you got kind of like the same kind of, hey, I was more happy with Jaden said, nope, be a hero, get this ball out of my hand, move on to the next play. Next play wasn't even, good. So I'm happy with just him being out there on the grass, being out there having a chance to put on a uniform, sweat a little bit. Yeah. Now we can build off of that. We just trying to stack days, man, and stack weeks and stack games, and it wasn't what I wanted to see from us as a whole. I would have loved to see Jayden go out there and willing to throw a couple of passes and be, oh, he's back to 224. No, but I think he need to go through more of this before we get to see that.
Get up
and
off
I think
that
when
ground.
you go through this right here, it's only going to build him to be better and mentally and physically for come week one.
Yeah, and so I want to talk about the two first plays. Fred, you did a great job with the second one. The first play, I like the principles that we're seeing there, right? Tanner, you like that they're in the gun. I like that we've got Terry McLaurin, we got Diggs, we got Burks on the field together with Chikakonkwo. That feels like a formidable passing thing.
Yes.
What do? We line Terry up in a tight split to the left. We motion Diggs across. We run a choice route with Diggs. And I think this is something where you this is what I thought you were going to say, good. That timing was a little bit off, right? Diggs was a little bit long. Terry got pushed a little bit wide. Just wasn't quite there. He broke out late.
Yeah.
But next time we get that look, he's going to know exactly what to do. They can build off that rep and get better at it. And I think, again, not holding the football. The other thing is I love the autonomy that Blau gave him on the second play. He checks to that play. He checks to a play action because he identifies its man coverage. He identifies the single high. It's going to be wide open. It was wide open. We got to shore up the protection. Again, Detroit, this is good job, Detroit. Well done. You won the second preseason game.
They get played too.
But, you're out there in a 6'2". We have not – I'm very confident. Based on what I've seen in practice, we have not repped a lot of this stuff versus 6'2".
Yeah.
No, we have
at this point, especially one that you're stemming to late. It makes the communication harder. It makes the movement harder to deal with. Now, John Bates has got to block it. Chig's got to block it.
Yeah.
All that stuff is true. But I'm just saying, you're going to get more banked reps at it.
Yeah,
so
definitely you're going to get more reps, but you're also going to get more realistic looks. You said it's not really realistic.
Yeah,
right,
and so I think that's something that I got excited about is the principles. We're trying to get Diggs, one of our best players, a touch on the route that he's good at early in the game, and we're trying to hit a heavy play action shot, which I like too. We're protecting the offensive line with a full slide. So I thought there was some stuff there. The other thing that comes out of this game is the offensive line, and I just want to say this because I don't know, you guys, I'm the offensive line guy here, is when you go back and watch it, they're in this crazy 6'2" for a lot of the game.
Yeah.
And you've got Golban, who's a rookie, Togai, who's a rookie, and Good Jones, who has not played a lot of football.
He has not.
And so Good Jones actually I thought played pretty well. But those young guys, that's tough.
First of all, they out there like a chicken with their head cut off. We all been out there.
A little bit, yeah.
On the road in Detroit, which is a loud place. Probably can't hear the cadence.
Yeah.
It just...
Dude, that was the other thing. Being on the sideline, it was loud.
It's always loud in Detroit.
I could not hear the booth.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and so people are they jumped off sides or they're this or they're laid off the ball. I'm like, it's loud in here.
It's loud in here.
For a preseason game, because you haven't, Tanner, we don't work silent count that really in a preseason game because you're no one's going to come.
No. I've been there. I was in that division for 2 years. I know how loud it gets in that stadium. It gets loud.
So I think that's all, again, we're not giving an excuse. We're giving context here.
We're giving reality checks.
I think that's true. And so, again, is the offense sputtering? It's the second preseason game.
Yeah.
You got two young quarterbacks in there, you're going to have some sputtering issues, right? It's the first time those guys, the varsity has played in the preseason.
And this is where you want your team to go. You wanted the incline to be like this. It ain't no season that I want to be at peak at game one.
Yeah.
It's not a season in the world.
All right, so that's going to do it for our offensive recap. Now we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about joint practice and the third preseason game and what we're looking for. But in the meantime, let's pay some bills, boys.
All right, this is the third one, right? This me?
It is you.
Checkpoint. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Checkpoint, helping organizations like the Washington Commanders secure their AI transformation. As AI becomes a larger part of every business, it introduces new, faster-moving cyber threats. Without the right security, your data and your customers could be more exposed than you think. Checkpoint uses AI to stop AI present threats before they become breaches. Because whether it's football or cybersecurity, winning comes down to pairing the right strategy with flawless execution. Checkpoint. We secure your AI transformation.
Finally got it.
That's not an easy read.
I know it gets long. It gets long-winded, bro.
No, it just got a lot of long, big words in that. I can feel y'all eyes shitty grins.
I look down, bro. I look at the paper.
I started laughing because Tana was looking down, and then Tana was looking over there someplace.
It's just so funny how this one thing has just grown.
It's made us bad people, really, is what it's done. It's made us bad people. All right, so let's talk about joint practice and the third preseason game. Let's talk about the most important person in the building and what this week means for him, and that's Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
So I really don't have a good feel Like, because I know some people are like, oh, should he play in the third preseason game? Is the joint practice enough?
No.
What do you guys think?
Joint practice. If I'm the coaches, every rep at joint practice this week is my ones. My ones and the halves. My other people, second, third string, y'all got the whole game coming this weekend. This practice is for me to see where my starters at. Yeah. I'm telling everybody, you got bandages on your hurt, we gonna go this week because I need to see you against this defense. I need to see you against Lamar Jackson. Yeah. I need to see it. Then they got a lane up there too at wide receiver that's up there killing people right now. I want to see the matchup ones against ones. No, I'm not playing anybody in the preseason.
I'm from a different era. We all from the same era, and I think with the joint practice, it kind of has me on both sides of the fence. I don't mind seeing them, go after each other throughout the whole joint practice, but I almost want to see our one just touch the field, like suit up and give me 4 plays, give me 5 plays. It's not going to hurt nobody. You know what I mean? And I say that to say I've done it too many times in the preseason. I was playing in the preseason game all the way up until my 14th season, so it's just one of those things where. And we didn't have a lot of joint practices then. Like, we did it early in my career, and then probably later in my career, I think we didn't have that many.
Shanahan has never been a joint.
But we still was able to touch the field. I think that last game, because now, see, when we was playing, we had 4 games. And after the last game, you go right into the season. Yeah. Now it's a break before the season.
You gotta buy.
So do I want to get them a dress rehearsals? Hey, we gonna get dressed. We gonna go out there and we gonna go through the plays. I feel like it's almost one of those, damn if I don't, damn if I do. So I want to see it. I want to see them get after each other in the joint practice, but also, hey, regardless of what the Ravens is doing with their ones, put my ones out there for 4 or 5 plays, man, just so I can, like I said, it's a dress rehearsal.
So I think I'm more aligned with Tana here because I do think there is value because of the bye week off after. And again, I'm not saying you should do this or you shouldn't do this. I'm just saying like
I'm there.
That's where my thought process goes. Where it's like you could do it and you'd probably be okay because you've got a couple weeks off. You also have the joint and maybe you really want to pour that thing out and get those guys going. And I just think about like it really comes down to like what is the best thing for Jaden Daniels really. And if they look really sharp in the joint, like. Let's go, right? Yeah. And I think it's also interesting, like we're recording this on Monday. They added a practice today. So, like, they obviously feel like there's more preparation that needs to be happening. Yeah. So, like, does that extra preparation come in the joint practice or does it come partially in the third preseason game? Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a good feel for it necessarily.
Well, this is what I'm saying. The only reason I say I wouldn't probably put my ones out there is because Baltimore ones ain't going to be out there. How much am I going to really learn? Yeah. Like, I'm going to learn from execution, of course, but talent evaluation, that's kind of hard for me to say my ones against their twos. Yes, so what? We took it 10 plays.
But I'm not even looking for them to compete on that level. I'm looking to make sure that we're good, that we know how to get out the huddle. We know how to line up. Get one of the plays that didn't go well last week off. I mean, I'm just going to go out there and say, you can have your practice squad guys up there against my ones. I care less about the competition part of it. I just want to see us rehearse what we're going to be doing, or what we haven't really done well leading up from practice. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Tanner, when you played in the preseason, like what did you get out of it? I know you've mentioned that like it just kind of helps you get your nerves out. Is there something more to it? Because like I've talked about my process where like I had to play to make the team. It was like an audition. For you though, you were an established player. Like what was that process like for you? And why do you think it's important? Because you've been pretty adamant, like that's something that you think has some value.
Yeah. So for one, I didn't have the choice of saying, do you want to play or not? I probably would have said no. You know what I mean? But being that our coaches always threw us out there, every year it got me more prepared. It made me feel like, okay, this is the last dress rehearsal. Like I just spoke on, it's the last rehearsal for me to get my feet wet and know what I'm gonna expect from myself, how I'm gonna attack week 1. Like I said, I took pride into breaking the huddle, being where I'm supposed to be at, knowing my routes, getting there, my depth, seeing the coverage. All that stuff plays a major role. Like I've been open about players that I've watched over the years that didn't have to practice throughout the week. I needed to practice throughout the week.
I needed to practice.
I wanted to feel it. I wanted to see it. And now I have set out some weeks and still had great games, but I was nervous as crap going to that game.
You had some insecurity.
Yeah, I was nervous, but I still went out there and did what I was supposed to do and make the plays because they came my way. But I like to be coming into the day before the game knowing that I got everything.
Yeah.
I'm right here. I'm finna be locked in, and then come the game day, like I said, put my pads out, you put your pants out, you do all the stuff that you do, because I want them to get familiar with doing this, and that's just where I feel. I mean, I think the last few years of how things has been done, these guys are more accustomed to not playing, so I won't trip if they don't. But I just feel like myself personally, it always did something for me.
And Fred, like one of the things that I always think about is there is a change in speed, right? You know, OTAs, mini camp, training camp, preseason.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I feel like that jump from a preseason game to a regular season game is not as big as practice to a game.
Yeah. It's not, but like you said, like don't forget, even though we're in shape, that first game ain't nobody truly in game shape.
Yeah.
Because nobody has played a whole game. Yeah. So my thing was that week before the game, like I kind of stayed, I stayed out of practice anyway, but I just needed more reps.
Yeah.
And I want the reps to rub together, meaning I would go out there and do my preseason, we'd take a drive or two, then I'd be like, nah, that drive was too short. I don't know if I could take a 12 play drive right now. All right, so then we'll stay out and we'll do it ourselves. Mimic a player trade drive, come out the huddle, back into the huddle, run an out route, run the go out, run myself on like 5 goals, come back to the huddle. Like that's the thing with me is training my mind and make sure my body, because the one thing I can't do trying to chase these dudes is be out there huffing and puffing. Like I cannot be doing that.
Yeah, and I think you made me think of something, Fred. Like I think it's really just a tool.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's the thing about coaching that's tough is, do you need the tool?
Yeah.
Is the joint practice the right tool for this team at this moment? Or do you need that extra oomph of the preseason game? And really, like, we're sitting here like just talking about it like guys at a barbershop kind of deal. But Dan Quinn's the one that's going to make that decision. I trust him because he's got all the information.
Definitely trust him.
So let's talk about, because you mentioned this, Fred, like what are the Ravens, like is it important that they're scrimmaging against a team like, or joint practicing against a team like the Ravens?
Yes, because we had the first practice, joint practice against the Dolphins. We all know where the Dolphins are in their franchise right now. They're rebuilding.
And also, by all accounts, they struggled real bad against the Giants too. Like they're just in a
they're just
spot.
In limbo right now. So you ask yourself, how much they still pro players? Don't get it twisted.
No.
But when you playing against a Super Bowl contending team with a all pro quarterback, it's different. Yeah. My DB's finna get to work. My pass rush finna get to work. Like my special teams, like they are well rounded. They play good defense, good offense, good special teams. That means every level of my defense will be challenged. So if we can go up here, and it ain't like we keeping score, but if we can go up here and go blow for blow with those guys, that tell me a lot about where we at.
And just to think about it, when you practicing against a team like this, now I don't mind seeing those guys, because so much is going to be done in practice. You're going to get a lot of work from these guys. You're going to get a lot of work from your ones, the twos, the threes. Every group is going to get work. So it probably won't be a situation come, that third preseason game that Dan said, I want to see these guys, because it's probably going to be a lot done this week. So I'm looking forward just to see the competition level.
And the coordinators do not have to hide their offenses and defenses.
As much anyway.
As much. Yeah. Because it ain't nobody else watching these two teams but these two teams. Yeah. So now I get to these are real live bullets now. Mm-hmm. This is not the preseason where they sugarcoated. These are real reps.
Yeah, and I think, coming out of the last joint practice, obviously guys were like a little banged up. And I'm not saying that because the guys aren't in shape. It's because of how they approached it. Yeah. They approached it with a great physical mindset. And they were really competitive. And so for me, again, like for Washington, I want to see the stuff we've seen. Like offensively, can we be efficient? Can we get out of the huddle? Can we get the play calls going? Defensively, can we attack them like we attacked Miami? Yeah. With our pressure just overwhelming them, our coverage just being like ubiquitous, just being everywhere, right? And I think that's if it holds up against Baltimore, we're in for a really fun season here as Washington Commanders.
And just to see, as much as I want to see the 7-on-7, I want to see some trench warfare, because if you can stop the running game with Derrick Henry and Andrews at tight end, offensive line, they got $100 million. New center. Like, yes, this is the competition we need right here.
Yeah, and so I guess like, is there something that you need to see from this to say like they're here, they're good? Like you mentioned that like a lot of stuff. I talked about like the schematic elements of it. Is there something like we're ready if I see X?
I just want physicality and health. Yeah. That's my two things.
Yeah, I want to see both teams come out healthy, but I do want to see some of those position groups that's fighting for spots to see who's going to rise. Yeah. I think that receiver room, man, it's it's gonna be real sticky.
It's some competition in all of them though. All rooms.
No, in all rooms, but that receiver room, man, I want to. It's Diami has been practicing well since Diggs been in the building.
Yeah.
And that's just letting you know that Diggs pushed everybody competition level or
because he pushed them down.
Yeah, so he let them know like, hey, he's letting everybody know I'm that guy that can stretch this field if you need be. But I think I want to see Burks. I want to see a little more, opportunities, given to Burks, man. Because like I said before, like he's a different body of a receiver that we don't have, and I would love to have that. Around, I would love to have him be a key, piece to our receiver corps because there's so much you can do with him. He's fast too, big body. He probably can catch the ball, beat anybody on jump ball. So I just want to see who's going to rise to the top out of that room.
Yeah. So speaking of people rising to the top, are there players that you guys are keeping an eye on? It sounds like everyone's going to watch the receiver room, but is there someone specifically, maybe two guys that you feel really good about?
I want old Henry.
Okay.
Oh, John Henry to get back in the good foot.
Yeah.
Dropping that kickoff return. You know how it is after you see somebody, me and Tanner would talk about, you see somebody ball out and make these plays, and then you're like, I hope he ain't fumbled his chance away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just to see him get back on the good foot. Tight ends, I want to see Coach Yankoff. I want to see him make some more plays.
Yeah.
Like I'm in his corner. Like I was real discouraged by Cager missing a couple balls this week.
Yeah,
who
man.
I thought was gonna really flash. Because he stay open.
Yeah.
Got to catch the ball.
Yeah, I think, man, for me, that's secondary. I think that secondary be chopping at the bits, man. When you see these turnovers, it's great to see guys not take it for granted, knowing that the pressure has really, made a lot of these guys, rise their game. And so I want to see that secondary, that safety position, how Quan finished out this last game. Will Quan, I want to see how the coaches playing these guys because I think I could get a read a little bit how the coaches playing them to know who's fighting for what.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to be paying close attention to who's playing in the game, and then how they play the game because it's on the line. Do we keep, how many DBs are we keeping? How many receivers are we keeping? Do we have to, cut a guy or two from one of those skill positions because we're going to keep more linemen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I'm going to be paying very, very close attention to the secondary and the wide receivers mostly, I think, because those are the two positions to me that I feel like that I have always been a part of. I play the receiver, but I'm always watching those DBs, seeing what they got going on.
Yeah, and I'm going to stay on brand here. Like, I think the safety spot is really interesting. I think, you've got your kind of first five set up there, but can, like, Malik Spence make a push? He had a really good game against Detroit. Hamilton has been playing a little bit safety in addition to corner. Like,
and
he's showing his versatility. So, like, he's a guy.
Around, boy.
And, like, can you make it as a teams player? Kane Madrano, Ale Cajo, like, which one of you guys can kind of assert yourself and make the roster? Because, McGee's nicked up, and there's a little pathway here for both of them to make it. Those guys are interesting. Golban at guard is a big one.
Yeah.
Because if he can show an improvement at guard, I think he makes the 53.
Yeah.
But if he struggles again like he did, and struggles, I mean that like with a little bit of moderation here.
He's a rookie.
He's never played guard before at the NFL level in this offense, so it's new. It's completely new for him. Can you show an improvement in development? I think that's something I'm going to keep an eye on because, again, those guys all have shots. And we haven't even talked about the receiver room. We have not talked about them, but I think that thing is wide open.
Oh, it is.
And I think right now Luke McCaffrey has the edge because of what he does on teams, but like Jaden Bradley, can you make a couple tackles and show out? Who knows? That's why I think that all that stuff's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. I think it's going to be hard, too, for those receivers because you got two guys that play special teams. So when you got Lane and Luke are returnmen, that just solidify two spots.
Yeah.
Like, hey, these are guys that's going to be here because of their roles on, the return game. Yeah. So that's what kind of, quietly
separation.
Not only separated, but it shuts the door on a lot of people that might just be talented enough to be straight up wide receivers.
Yeah, but a fun group. Looking forward to watching all of them really. And then it's just. I think more information will be gleaned from joint practice in the game. Yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to say too before we finished up. But that's going to do it for today's show. Please make sure you like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and let us know who you think the best ad reader is. Peace.
Thank you.
The Command Center podcast was filmed at the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.